Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you folks. Welcome, 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 welcome in the ring this Wednesday, the 21st day, payday of May. Good to have all of you on the live this evening. It's payday, folks. How many of you been watching the calendar? How many of you been watching the calendar? Cost of living in this country high. You got to watch the calendar. You got to watch the calendar. You got to watch the calendar. There's no nice way to say it. Ain't got no nice way to say it. I hope you guys are good and well. Where are you joining us from? Some of you joining us, some of you joining us. Whatever it is, joining and drawing. Good to have all of you on the live tonight, folks. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well, folks, and others can get the valid and credible information. Help us to do that. Won't you? Help us to do that. Look, the PNC, the PNCR, they've got a independence bingo. And a lot of people have fallen in love with this bingo because, it's for the socialization. That's what. PP sell one or two people. It's the socialization, number one. But it's the big cash giveaways that happens. They have this fundraising bingo 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. It's almost a staple. Well, I shouldn't even say it's almost. It's a staple of the PNCR. And folks, they have one that's coming up this weekend here. This is our Independence weekend. We're going to be off on Friday, and chances are we're going to be off on Monday as well, because those are our traveling days. We told you all we're heading a couple places to bring you all the valid and credible information. And folks, we're giving you all some things to do while we're out. While we're out of the office, the PNCR has this independence bingo. Take a look.
Guyana, it's the PNCR Pre-Independence Fundraising Bingo. On Sunday, the 25th of May from 2 p.m. at Congress Place, Sophia. There will be 3 coverall games at $1 million per game, 3 letter games at $200,000 per game, 20 straight games at $100,000 per game. $6,000 gets you 6 tickets. Remember, it's the PNCR Pre-Independence Fundraising Bingo on Sunday, the 25th of May from 2 p.m. at Congress Place, Sophia. Put on your shoes and come on out.
Yeah. It's going down there, folks. That's where it's going down. And look, y'all don't get jealous for the PNCR having the ads running on one of the most watched programs in this country, Caribbean, internationally. You can have your programs run too. Come on down if the price is right. Please and thank you. We can fix you all up. You got some product or service or something like that you want our viewers to see. 800, 5 minutes in, have already joined us, and we can get you about 4,000 before the night, live viewers alone, and then we climb into the higher thousands, and by the time the show is done, into the evening, into tomorrow. And why let it go to waste? Talk to us. 627-6963 is the one number. We have over 5 years now. We're doing this program, close to 5 years now. We're doing this program, and we have the one number. 66963. They're not like us. Yeah. That's coming up over the weekend. We commend that activity to you. Some of y'all just go home and walk home. I know what it is like. I used to be one of you. Good evening, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome. Delighted to have all of you with us. Another evening, as I said, is May 21st. And my Lord, never a dull moment in the 592. Never, ever dull moment. How you guys have been keeping? Good to have all of you on the live with us tonight. I'm seeing the comments rushing by. Right? Nalisha, Beatrice, Deborah, Yvette, Mandy, Elise. Good to have all of you on the live. Sandra's there too. Penelope, Irwin. Good to have you folks with us this evening. Hope you guys are well. Good to have you. Sandra's your sister on. Is Joy on this evening? Lynette Cox, good to see you. David Papin, Lily Gulliver, Peter Noble is here. Andrew, good to have you. Debbie is here, and Renwick, and Brian, and Mark, and 1,000 plus watching us now. Rena Rastoman, good to have each and every one of you on the live. Folks, I see somebody saying, let me see. Wilma Grant says, Sherrod, New York is cold. Oh, we're sending you some of the heat, the physical heat from these tropics. We're sending you some of the political heat as well, Wilma Grant. Make the best of it, Wilma. John Caesar is here too. Good to have all of you. DJ Hope Tongue, Hazel Ramkin is here too. Donna Miller, Irwin Don, Mercy, Penelope, Belinda. Good to have each and every one of you on the live tonight. Folks, share the live, smash that emoji button, and partner with us. Look, I know when you see something often, you kind of get used to it. You know, you take it for granted. You all see how we've got our what do you call it? Our little code on the, not little code, our code up on the screen here. We got in the ring on one side, and then we got partner with us on the other side. Now, if you scan that code, you know, it takes you to whether you got Cash App, you got Zelle, you got a MasterCard, a Visa card. It gives you that feature there. Automatically, we partner with an international company called Stripe, and they do this service for us. And you can contribute to our program, and I hope you do. If you find any value in it, I hope you just coming here for us to vex you. You know, I hope so. You're not just showing up for us to vex you on a nightly basis. So you can go and take it out to your spouse and the kids or what have you. You know, or as your parents, somebody say, go watch in the ring. This is your parents. You know, I hope it has some value for you. Scan that QR code. That was the phrase I was looking for. You scan that QR code there, you know, and it takes you right to where you need to be to help us to keep it on, folks. And that's a beautiful thing, you know, like Trump and his big, beautiful bill, you know, that's a beautiful thing to help us to keep on keeping on. You know, don't get weary in well doing. Where my brothers at? Where my sisters at? Do not get weary in well doing. How are we looking there? Good to have all of you on the live with us. Renella, great to see you. Hope your son is well. Hope the entire family circle is okay. Donna, Penelope, Beatrice, good to have each and every one of you on the live. Folks, have we told you lately that we love you all? Well, it is so. It is so. We're ringing that bell one time for all of you. Pull it back and then ring it for all of you folks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. You know, you guys make the difference. Am I saying it correctly? You all make the difference. I'm trying to get my subject and verbs to agree. I hope they do eventually. We're good to have all of you on the live tonight. Folks, in a easy day in this country, I am here on a daily basis. We're inundated with messages and phone calls of victimization and nepotism and all that's going on, corruption across this country. And that is why, you know, when you hear these boys, sometimes as you will hear them, you say, what? They're not like us. What? It's true story. True story, folks. True story. And so we got this elections looming. And so the things you haven't seen in 5 years, you could see in a day because these elections are looming. Is it truth? Is the truth? We aren't playing, folks. But we're so happy that we have been here with you folks. And you all have made the whole thing bearable. You know, to put it lightly, you all have made it bearable. Please and thank you. So thanks to you folks from the bottom of we heart for being here. Sheena and Puran Ramdas and Deborah. Listen, we might have political differences, but we don't bear no malice. We don't hate nobody, right? We got our differences politically, philosophically, and otherwise, mentally, and so on. But we won't go out of our way to hurt y'all, you know, so that y'all could know. But we appreciate y'all. Just for the Jagabats who are on the live especially. We appreciate Valerie and Carmen and Mark and Heaven Faith and all the other folks who are watching us this evening. Justice for Adriana. Today marks 2 years. 2 years. Today marks 2 years since that Mario fire the female dormitory went up in flames. God, and we lost 20 beautiful souls that day. They ain't coming home no more, folks. Could you imagine the trauma in those communities, right? Trauma in those villages, Anai, Surama, all of the places who got kids going to these schools. Trauma, somebody, daughter, sister, cousin, niece, gone, eternally burned to death. These folks here got blood in their hands. When you get blood in your hands, you can't prosper. Mayborn King, Avril, Lovely Lily. When you got blood in your hands, you can't prosper. Desmond Harris, you just can't. You can't prosper. That's these guys here. And that's why it's like old house on old house with them. It's purgatory. It's confusion powder. It's jumbie board. All the above. We watching it. Justice for Adriana Young. You have seen the obstacles they have tried to put in the way. My God. And that is why recently we heard Paul Slow, a former assistant commissioner of police, retired assistant commissioner of police, talk about this attack the police and the police public relations department launched on Adriana Young's family attorney, Dr. Dexter Todd. Not for something he did, acts or omissions, but for something he reported that the investigator from the Royal Canadian Mounted Branch, something that he said, he was astonished. We heard he left. Unconfirmed reports says he left. Like them boys run him. Like them boys run him. But that being said, folks, the opener tonight, this is some of what he would have iterated. And he, as in retired policeman, senior policeman, Paul Slow, told us. The opener. Never an easy day in this country, folks. Never an easy day. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Welcome officially, if you're now joining us.
The Police Corporate Public Relations Unit launched a scathing attack on Dr. Dexter Todd for the wrong reasons, said retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow. Canadian investigator Leonard McCushion, a retired officer of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, said that he was recruited by the Guyana government to help in the investigations into Adriana Young's death.
Police force come out blazing against Todd, accuse him of all kind of thing. They accuse him of all kind of thing because the McCushion. Let me read back the part. I think that's the way I liked it. McCushion said that he was surprised that until then nobody had interviewed the father or the mother of this deceased child.
Slow said that the police attacked Dr. Todd for that. The
police, the corporate propaganda unit, the extended squatter, them dunces you have in the hierarchy of the police force, blaming Todd. And hear what they say. Following the statement issued by Dexter Todd, the attorney representing the Young's family relating to the meeting he had with Canadian homicide expert and retired officer from the Canadian Mounted Police, Leonard McCushion, the Guyana Police Force Corporate Communications Unit, in release yesterday, responded by categorically, quote-unquote, asserting that the attorney's allegation that the father of Adriana Young was not contacted by the police to give a statement was wholly and deliberately untrue.
Dr. Todd never made that claim. It was the Canadian expert McCushion. The police, through the communications unit, claimed that several attempts were made to convince the father to give a statement. The police said that they invited the child's father to visit the police station. There was no attempt to approach the child's father.
But the man should never have been asked to go to the station. Never been asked to go to the station. At least on the 24th.
That was the day the man jumped into the pool to retrieve his daughter's body.
Yeah. Welcome back. I want you all to know when the police start using those big words like categorically, up to no good. I just want you to know that. When they start using categorically and so on, they're up to no good, none whatsoever. None whatsoever, no good. Please and thank you. But folks, we know what we know. We know what we know. And as I'm telling you that, I saw early on today on T. Muhammad's page, they're reinforcing. We stood outside that hotel. We searched. Well, as I said, the body was not in the pool. It was not there. But it's on the ballot. It's on the general election ballot. I want you all remember what these folks try to perpetuate on this nation, misleading this family, misleading this nation. And then they won't come wrong. We funny now. Raquel Gentle, Raquel says justice. We need justice. Lyndon Bowman, Leonard Sampson, that's what we need. Jean Noble, Gail Alikop, Patricia Sanner. Justice is what we need. And we're settling for anything else. God damn it. We're not settling for anything else. Thank you so much, Paul Slow, for always keeping on the ball, especially on these police matters, these investigation matters. And shout out to our very own Adam Harris as well. Always keeping it real for us, helping us in this regard to flesh out some of these issues so that you guys have a better understanding of them. And, those of you who joining us from YouTube, you all know we post them separately to our YouTube channel so that you all can go back and revisit these stories on demand, as they say. You can go back on demand in your own time and visit. And if you're on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel, right now, you haven't subscribed, do us that big favor. They tell us more people watch our channels who have not subscribed than those who have. You're following us on our Facebook page. Please and thank you. Follow that page. You're watching us on our Facebook page. Click that follow button. You're watching us on the tube. Do the same as well. Click that subscribe button on YouTube. Please and thank you. And we're moving forward. Pace and power, power and pace. That's how we're doing it. That's how we're doing it. So tis the season, folks. Tis the season is what we have upon us, and we got to make do. Right? We got to make do. Who can swim, go and sink. That's all. Who can swim, go and sink. Fair enough. One sail some of them out. Let the sharks eat them. This is the big issue tonight. 7 Court of Appeal judges appointed. 5 were sworn in today. 5 of them. Please and thank you. 5 of them. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. Probably a very, very high moment in one's legal career. They've come from attorney, magistrate, and you're coming down, go down, and then boom. You put in the work. And Court of Appeal judge. They're right there, folks. Right there. Congrats to all of them. Congrats to each and every. I don't want to take anything away from them. Please and thank you. They got to produce now. Because I'll tell you what. The folks have been asking for this for a little while. But you see this government, you got to fight them on every single front. On every front. They don't concede anything easily. But we can circle back to this in just a little bit, because I want to remind you, good folks, of a couple of things that touches and concerns, to use a legal phrase. You see, I'm staying thematically relevant. We're talking about a legal issue here, and I come now with my legal jargons. What I want to remind you of, let's try to sound right now, touches and concerns this very matter here. Sound like when the police say categorically, any problems there. So we got something to discuss with you folks. It gives you guys a snapshot of how the day went while you were out. Some of you have been busy at work, busy in people's business, and fast too. But we've been watching the wires, watching how the news breaks. Folks, we got this issue here. Not an issue. We got this event of the National Two Shows Conference, the National Two Shows Council's Conference 2025 that's on. People are being locked out, denied entry, denied access, denied a voice. Have you guys been following the commentary on Facebook? Have you? In this one Guyana, I think, anybody should be able to apply and go and listen to what's happening in our indigenous communities. Stand with our brothers, watch them work for this week, hammering out different issues that are occurring. And again, I'm taken to the back, and I'm taken to the back when I hear some of the issues that are being raised. When I hear some of the issues that are being raised, because it reminds me that these boys said they finished the manifesto. And just today, I saw a colleague share one of their 2020 paraphernalia. One of those, what do you call it? Banners or flyers, whatever it is, that had big across it, low the cost of living. Well, folks, we still waiting for this one. You had a low cost of living on the last administration, even though we didn't start spending, or perhaps because we didn't start spending oil money as yet. Inflation was 0.9. If Irfan Ali, Ashni, Jack Leo, if they wake up tomorrow and inflation is deep 0.9, holiday, Nobel Prize for economics. But that was accomplished. Every year, right? As you know, salaries increase. You had no seesaw salary, 8% 1 year, 7% the next, and then a 6.5, then it got back to 8.5 or something like that. Consistent. If you like, y'all tell me, as Guyanese say colloquially. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Some of the issues being raised by our indigenous brothers and sisters. Like, for instance, serious allegations of police misconduct in Barmita, Region 1. Now, this is no secret. Brothers and sisters, ringsiders, this is no secret. None whatsoever. Right? But now, Low Energy Robeson, he say, we no stone unturned. No PPP, no stone unturned. That's what he said. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Now, if you've been on the ground, if you've been doing the work of policing nationally, this wouldn't surprise you now. Police misconduct at Barmita didn't start yesterday, but they've been distracted. Doing what? You can hazard a guess. They have been distracted. You can imagine two shows have to come to town. So tell the minister, listen, this thing here, this thing ain't working out. And this is to show Charmaine, I think Rambaje or Rambaju, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, who detailed instances of harassment, including officers demanding excessive fines from shop owners for late openings, some as high as 150,000. And of course, for these fines, they're not issuing any receipts. They are not issuing any. Irfan say, Irfan, same thing, same difference. Robeson Ben Irfan say, I know about this. I have no doubt, I have no doubt. Slow coach, low energy. So I don't know about this. It is what it is. This on the ballot, Two shows. This on the ballot. Right? Barmita says the residents live in fear. The two shows are calling for certain officers' removal and the training of its local residents in Baramita to serve as officers. Sounds like we got a plan there. Ben, where there all the time? Where are you all the time, Ben? And then we got alien lady. You remember her? You think this guy is easy? Chinese landing. The government says, you remember our brothers and sisters who live in this area here? Tasawini. They've been complaining perennially. This is not new. Now them boys saying how they've been giving lands to the villagers. Because remember, they've been approving lands for outsiders in these villages. And when they do so, in many instances, the indigenous people can't even traverse those areas. In their own villages, people coming and digging out the mineral wealth from beneath their feet. So I heard a couple today from this government saying that at least 1 or 2 persons have been issued with such lands, indigenous persons that is, to mine, but that they got to come to Georgetown and they got to go to GGMC and plead. Now this is madness. This is madness. I have seen the PPP take people from the General Registrar's office and go out there to the National Convention Center and register our indigenous brothers and sisters for birth certificates on the spot. Process it on the spot. They got it on the spot. They're saying these people got to come back now to Georgetown, go by GGMC and plead and make the pleadings. This is madness. Now, if you folks have been following us, you all would know we've been chronicling all of these issues in these indigenous communities. This is not guesswork, you know. Right? Tell me if you know this graphic. Look, we've been tracking for the longest while serious concerns in indigenous villages. Places like Little Canubali in Santa Cruz in Region 1. Chinese landing, that's the one we just spoke about, that has a Carib community. This is in Region 1 as well, in the Burima Waini region. A place called Tasawini. Beautiful Carib community there. That's the one we just reflected on. Where this government is sending in people to dispossess our indigenous brothers and sisters. You see? Isenaru. These issues are not new issue. There's an Akawayo community here. Region 7, Middle Mazaruni. Maruri. This is Deep South, Region 9. We've been tracking all kinds of issues in our indigenous communities. Places like Wiki Kalkuni, Region 1, Hururu. Been here, been on the ground. Listen to these people. In Region 10, rather. Wiki Kalkuni, Hururu in Region 10. And some of these indigenous villages, some of these reservations, they've been so fed up with the government, brothers and sisters. They've taken them to court, not only local courts, they've taken them, for instance, before the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, because that is what they have felt discriminated against when you had lands that belong to you ripped from beneath your feet and given to others, and you getting crumbs. They've taken this installed regime before the Inter-American Commission on, I think it's human rights, taken them there and have received some significant judgments. Some significant judgments. And I dare say, brothers and sisters, since these judgments from these international bodies have been handed down, in places like Chinese landing, our brothers and sisters should not have 1 concession or 2 concessions. They should have had those lands given back to them. If this was a caring government, if perchance and by chance this was a caring administration, but it is not. Right? Priya will say we care. The proof of the pudding is not in the baking, is it? The proof of the pudding is in the eating of it. And so it has been our lived experience. The indigenous in this country are not treated as equals. They are not treated as equal. And then until that day, as Haile Selassie said, or as he made famous, as Bob Marley made famous rather, the words of Haile Selassie before the United Nations, until that day, the dream of lasting peace, the dream of one Guyana will remain but a fleeting illusion. You all know the rest. To be pursued, never attained. And then Bob Marley rips it up there. Everywhere is. Until that day. So we support their offering. Well, pian support their offering. Our people need real change in their lives and in their communities. I want you all to name, list some Amerindians that you know, some indigenous brothers and sisters who are millionaires. We don't believe that they got use for money the way our coastlanders do. Shame on you for that. We have to empower our people. The mineral wealth of this country belongs to all of us, not just to a small handful of the PPP cabal. Not at all. Chinese landing on the ballot. It's on the ballot, folks. It's on the ballot. We thought we ought to share that with you. It's on the ballot. So don't run and come wrong with funny. For the length of time, we've been talking about Amerindian land titling. My God, they're coming more promises, Our indigenous brothers and sisters, the Amerindians, they have key roles to play. This is like that cliche, youths are the future. I hear that since I was 10. I passed a little while now. A hop, a skip, and a jump. A moment of love ago, as the poet says, I passed that way. The youths are the future. The Amerindians have a role to play in land titling, revision of the Amerindian Act. When is it going to begin, Madam Minister? You're on the tail end of your tenure. You're still making these promises? Shame on you. Shame on them. 4 years, 10 months in, you still. This is the false prophets and promises of the PPP. Joylyn, Carolyn, false prophets and promises of the PPP. And you all know we're talking the truth. Please and thank you. The minister is more concerned, with our own aesthetics than that in the lives of our indigenous brothers and sisters. I want every person in this country, including our indigenous brothers and sisters, you must be able to afford dental care, to the cost of $5 and $6 and $7, $10 million. Like certain government officials. No. We got ducked in early by dental school. Hink. You see? You got tucked in. I want that for everybody. That kind of party, that kind of nice time and good treatment. You see? We all can want that. Can't we all aspire to it? Can't we win together, good folks? But once you're talking about the PPP, once you're talking with them, good folks, brothers and sisters, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your back. Don't hold your breath. Right? Don't do it. In one of his presentations to the National Assembly, the leader of the opposition, leader of the PNCR, spoke to some of these issues of how we should be thinking, rationalizing the future for our Tushaus, our Amerindian brothers and sisters. Here's some of that.
In another effort in our plan to reimagine and reinvent government, we will be employing a whole of government approach for critical national issues, such as indigenous welfare, national security, and climate resilience. On the indigenous issues, for example, our whole of governmental approach will see the creation of a cross-ministry task force chaired by the Minister of Indigenous Affairs, on which the NTCs, indigenous NGOs, and other stakeholders and experts will have seats. Mr. Speaker, we say here, and we will do it. 2,000 councillors should be paid no less than $200,000 a month.
Yeah. Now it's the leader of the opposition, leader of the PNCR, making the arguments there. We gotta treat our folks well. And that's the trouble us Guyanese got, you know. We don't treat each other well. And that's why the foreigners come and clean the clock. Left, right, and center. We roll out the red carpets to foreigners, but we treat each other so poorly. We gotta change that, Jacobats. We gotta change it. Look, you see this flurry of activities. I was looking at the swearing in of the new judges. Congrats to them. On the Office of President Facebook page. And as I scroll down, I scroll in with a little data. I see a flurry of activities, you know, meant to drum up patriotic support. And that's a good thing, because we got a very heavy weekend coming up here with this illegal election over what the Venezuelans call Guyana Essequibo, some foolishness like that, this fiction. So it's a very serious time. And I saw a lot of iterations of patriotic videos and songs and so on the Facebook page of the Office of the President. And I see what really don't happen in a year is happening in a day. Suddenly, this, especially in a country like ours, with a neighbor like ours in Venezuela, they should be blasting all the time on our radio, you know, NCN, DP High, and Chronicle, and the rest, the Room of the News, and so on. Oh, but we're such creatures of convenience, huh? We're so opportunistic, huh? So 1 week, giddy up. And then back to square one. That can't work. And so I welcome the Chief of Staff visit to as many communities as they can visit, these border communities. But my God, this is the 9th hour. This has to be a constant, consistent exercise. But you see the PPP, they're like a program that they can't get a kickback from. You can't get no kickback from patriotism, you know. So they don't too fancy that. We ought to be going out there, right, talking to our people on a daily, weekly, monthly, consistent basis together. Not just when they got some saber rattling of the Venezuelans, then you say, let me hold hands and stand together. That's hypocrisy, man. That's hypocrisy. So kudos to the army for doing what they can do under the circumstances. Kudos to them for that. But this can't be it. Guyanese, this on the ballot. This cannot be it. Other countries do not have, a lot of other countries don't have this kind of border controversy like we do, and have a far better sense of patriotism and love for country. You know, since a baby born, you should get a piece of land on the border. Yeah. And the matron whispering in your ears, Essequibo is way out. Soon as a baby born, let it be a policy. Whispering the baby ears, Essequibo is way out. Here's a piece of land for the border. Where you think it goes? That's what you got for the Fed. people could come. And if you say you could give 50 people work, you get 500 acres. Born and bred Guyanese. You're struggling for 0 point something. You how much check on your plan and see how much land you get. Young says, oh, it's 50 by 100. Check the acreage. 0.0 something. And a man could come from Timbuktu and get 500 acres. And you got piece of land. It's so small, you can't even turn around and you got to go for your neighbor land, turn around and then come back on your own. Close quarters. We got to do much better. That's the point I want to raise here. Brothers and sisters, all 3,200 of you watching us, we got to do better. You know, kudos, as I said, to the Ghana Defense Force for doing what they can do. We got to do more than just wave a flag and say, execrables are our own. Execrables are our own. We got to do more than that. Strong diplomacy, right? Strong domestic policies as well. We got to do more than that. So you're watching it, folks. We're watching it. I'm so fed up with them. I am so fed up of them. You know. Waste the times in between. Totally. This is Guyana. Folks, if a day come and you're going to protest, country going good. In Kakwani, been here about a month ago. Sharmila? Am I right? About a month ago. Yeah, I think so. Claudine, about a month ago. Saw this road for myself. With my own eye. You know, as we say colloquially. I seen with my own eye. Yesterday, I was so saddened to see our school boys bailing water out a big hole. You know? Bailing water. Before them in this hole. The hole's so big, bailing out water. Today, the stage of protest, they're fed up. They're fed up. Could you imagine, because a certain section of this main street in Kukwani, you know, traditionally votes a certain way, the contractor abandoned the work at the side. Abandoned the work on that side. When the residents talked to the contractor, he said he get orders. He get orders. And that is what we're seeing. Now that it's getting up to election, you see them pulling contractors from some areas. Right? They don't write them off. They're voting for we. That's the one Guyana we're living in. They pull those contractors to go and hustle up and finish up projects in some other areas. I see a road in Success recently. I didn't plan to talk about this tonight. Disintegrate, just build. Like biscuit, it crumble. Friends, family, and favorites. And so, those young men, yesterday, today, this is one thing the government understands, the protest. You got protests. And then you can get to meet with a minister. You can't meet with them otherwise. Yesterday, right in that region, I saw truckers protest. Suddenly, government, election time, hustle quick. And then another month time, the status quo again. We got to do more than this, PPP. We got to do more than this. Serve your constituency, fair enough. Fair enough. But you got other people in this country too. You got other people in this country too. And the fact that you got this kind of discrimination. To get a work, who you vote for? To get a little road, who you support? That's not wickedness. It is. It is. It is wickedness. It is wickedness. This on the ballot. Kakwani, sub-region, it on the ballot. It on the ballot. Please and thank you. It on the ballot. 7 judges were appointed recently. 5 sworn in today, folks. Congrats again. Each and every one of them. Pace and power. Pace and power. Pace and power. Pace and power. Thank you, Adam Harris.
President Irfan Ali swore in 5 new appellate judges today, Wednesday. However, 7 have been appointed to the higher court. Those appointed are Justice Joan Barlow, Justice Navendra Singh, Justice Nareshwar Harnanan, Justice Priya Sunarayan Bihari, Justice Damon Young, Attorney-at-Law Dr. Joyston Kite Thomas, and Attorney-at-Law Mr. Rafi Khan, Senior Counsel. The remaining two would be sworn in later. Last month, the National Assembly approved legislation to increase the number of Court of Appeal judges from 9 to 11. President Ali said that nearly half of the newly appointed appellate judges are women.
I'm happy that we continue to celebrate the extraordinary contribution of women in our society and the role that they continue to play in shaping our society into what will be an incredible future for every Guyanese.
He said that the Court of Appeal serves as a pivotal role in reviewing petitions and orders of the High Court. It's responsible for the preservation of the rule of law, he said.
It contributes indispensably to the preservation of the rule of law, the protection of fundamental rights, and the maintenance of constitutional order. The appointment of these 5 eminent individuals, made on the recommendation of the Judicial Service Commission, reflects the continuing fortification of our judicial architecture. Their elevation comes at a time when the demand for efficient and expeditious appellate review is greater than ever.
He said that the accession to the Court of Appeal is one of the highest honors that could be conferred on people in the legal profession.
It signifies recognition not only of your competence, but also of your character and the fidelity with which you have served the law thus far.
The newly appointed appellate judges need to be impartial, President Ali said.
Judicial impartiality is the bulwark of a free and democratic society. It must be guarded zealously and exercised without fear or favor. Integrity remains the foundation of a judiciary that commands respect, legitimacy, and public confidence.
Welcome back. It must be guarded zealously. You know it? They're right there, the own speech, yeah? Must be guarded zealously. You know? Yeah. My God. Sounds interesting when they say it. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Oh, women are so important to this thing. Women are important to the process. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. It is because of the advocacy of the judiciary. It is because of the advocacy of the parliamentary opposition over the past 3-4 years that we even have a Judicial Service Commission to make this appointment, to make these appointments. So it's not because the PP is so forward thinking. No, it is not. No, it is not. If this administration were forward thinking, the Chief Justice and the Chancellor would already be appointed to those substantive positions. But they know they can't cow these eminent jurists. They know they will not bend the knee and kiss a ring. As I've said on my social media, on my Facebook profile today, they don't want to appoint. The president is a liar. He's dishonest and he's disrespectful. For a very long time, he said that he was awaiting the establishment, the operationalizing of the Judicial Service Commission to make the appointments. And then he said after that, he was going to appoint the Chancellor and Chief Justice. Today, he's still musing. He's still pondering. The leader of the opposition, Mr. Norton, has already given his approval. And he is still dilly-dallying, shilly-shallying. So it is not because of them these justices are being appointed. It's in spite of them. Because these were the folks, remember, when Ali used to come and say that, oh, these justices aren't given their judgments, written judgments on time and so on. And then they pointed out, but Chatri, look the caseload we got piling up here on us. You know, we have delivered our judgment and we are in the process of getting it done. He wanted it done by a specific time, but he said, look the caseload here. Just, folks, the Judicial Service Commission was only appointed, right? Only appointed in 2023, you know. 3 years after taking government. As I said, after much lobbying by members of the judiciary, much lobbying by the parliamentary opposition, the former president, Justice Saunders, told his government it's a travesty that these ladies are appointed. The Bar Association President, I think Kamal Ramkaran, belabored the point as well, emphasized the point. These ladies should be appointed. I wonder if it's because they're black. You all know I don't get into these issues of race lightly, but I'm beginning to wonder when you see the attitude of the president. He's so arrogant and obdurate. I wonder if it's because they're black. Perhaps it's not because they won't kiss the ring and bend the knee. But it has occurred to me. So now, he said, you trying to make it such a complex, complicated issue. It is not. We have seen time and time again black people supplanted in this country, skipped over, stepped around. It's not something we're unaccustomed to, but we thought we'd turn the corner in it. But a new iteration of the PPP, but it's the same old PPP. Same old PPP. Same old PPP. This on the ballot. This on the ballot. In 2023, folks, I think it was Law Week. No person but the acting chancellor belabored the point, belabeled, according to Irfan Ali, belabeled the point that we need more judges, belabeled the point that we need a Judicial Service Commission. So up until that time, when this was happening, right, January 10th, 2023, the Judicial Service Commission was not established as yet or operationalized as yet. Here Justice Cummins says, we need it to be established ASAP. We are I'm quoting, we are facing increased caseloads. Judges are now overburdened. They are exhausted. They are nearly worn out, and they are in some cases burned out. It is on that basis that I said, it is after tremendous lobbying, foreign and domestic, that we're seeing what we're seeing here. So when they run out now, and they come around you funny, and telling you, oh, it is the master plan of the PPP for the judiciary being rolled out. Nonsense. We big, but we got sense. Good folks. We big and we got sense. Don't try to make me something. All you're hearing me, don't try to make me something. Share it damn live. Smash that emoji, but we big and we got sense. So they want to say what it is. You hear me? But we know what it is. It's becoming clearer and clearer every day. We know what it is. All you hear me? Pace and power, boots on the ground. Good folks. The closer. They talk about the army fanning out, and Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan, leading that effort. visiting these border villages, talking with our folks. It would be nice to see some ministers, but they're frightened. They're weak and spineless. They have no role in leading. They should have none. Should be nowhere close. They're weak. They're weak. They're weak. You hear me? They're weak. We close. We close on that note, folks. When you close up, thank you, Adam. Really so appreciative of Adam doing this work for us. Thank you so much. We close. The closer.
Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, during a recent visit to a border community, threatened harsh action against any Guyanese who vote in the May 25th elections called by Venezuela. He said they would be severely dealt with. The elections called by Venezuela are for a government to rule Essequibo. On Sunday, former diplomat Ronald Austin feels that the threat could have a negative effect on the people in the border community.
In these circumstances, I believe that you should inform the people. Tell them what is on the horizon. Tell them what is expected of them as Guyanese citizens. And appeal to their patriotic sense. I don't think threatening those people on the border in these circumstances is the best way to go. I think for a number of reasons, it can have the opposite effect.
He said that the threat could push the people to form an alliance with the Venezuelans. There is no need to scare people, he said. Rather, the drive should be to educate people, to make them understand the situation.
I don't think it's wise to say to those indigenous people, you're going to hang them if they turn out to be the governor of the Essequibo Basin and retire. Those people, from all that I've been reading within the last weeks and months, as a result of my work on the border committee, are a bit apprehensive about what is going on the coast. Mostly because they're not being told anything.
Austin said that it's unthinkable that the threats represent the policy of the government.
Ben spoke as Minister of Home Affairs, and you offered your view on that. But the Minister of Defense is the President.
Yes.
And he is not speaking. He is not talking to the citizens of this country and giving them any assurance except to say that we have informed our international allies.
That speaker was Advocate Marvin Williams. He suggested that the people have nowhere to turn to if the head of defense isn't speaking to the nation.
Guyana, it's the PNCR Pre-Independence Fundraising Bingo. On Sunday, the 25th of May from 2 p.m. at Congress Place, Sophia. There will be 3 coverall games at $1 million per game, 3 letter games at $200,000 per game, 20 straight games at $100,000 per game. $6,000 gets you 6 tickets. Remember, it's the PNCR Pre-Independence Fundraising Bingo on Sunday, the 25th of May from 2 p.m. at Congress Place, Sophia. Put on your shoes and come on out.
All right, that's going to do it for us this evening, folks. That's our time tonight. That's our program. Stay safe and thanks for joining us. The thousands of you who did so this evening, share the live, smash that emoji button for us and partner with us as well so we can keep on keeping on.